Survival family, it is Mom Survival here, and in today's video, it was actually a request from a subscriber. Someone saw my cookies in a jar sitting on my shelf and asked me to make a video over it. So I actually have 3 different recipes, 3 different desserts that you can make in a jar that will sit on your shelf and have a pretty long shelf life, so that if you ever have a sweet tooth on a normal regular basis, all you have to do is grab the jar off, dump it in a bowl, and just add a couple different ingredients. Or if store shelves tend to get more empty as we see rising inflation and more food shortages, you know that you will have a dessert set back for a special occasion or just if you want something. The first thing that I always do when I'm making these is I sanitize my mason jars. Obviously, when you're doing any type of food storage, you want the container that you're putting that food into to be clean and to keep that food as fresh as long as possible. Okay, so I have 2 12 packs of these quart mason jars. I'm gonna go ahead and unwrap them and toss them in our dishwasher to get them sanitized. Now that my mason jars are clean, we're gonna go ahead and get into the actual making of these cookie jar kits. First up, I have M&M oatmeal cookies. We are gonna start out by mixing all of the dry ingredients, which is 1 1/3 cup flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, and 3/4 teaspoon salt. Mix that all together, and that's gonna be your base layer in a jar. Then we're gonna add a cup of M&Ms, followed by a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, a 1/2 cup of white sugar, and then we're gonna put in our oats. Mine obviously went everywhere, so make sure to add them in slowly and push them in gradually as you go to kind of compact it. They will all fit, you just have to push them down. And last but not least in our layer is a 1/2 cup of chocolate chips to complete our dry ingredients for the M&M oatmeal cookies. So these jars are not complete. Obviously, you're gonna need some wet ingredients. And so what I do is I attach just a cardstock piece of paper with the cooking instructions on them, as well as the wet ingredients that you need. It's as simple as putting a hole punch in that paper and just tying it around the lid with a ribbon. I will be including this in the next cookie recipe I'm about to show you, but these wet ingredients are the same for both cookies, and you're going to bake them at 350 for 12 to 15 minutes. Now, I do find that your cooking time can vary depending on the climate you're in, how dry the air is, you know, what your oven does. So just keep that in mind and keep an eye on your cookies until you kind of know how your cookies in a jar works. But I just wanted to add that in here. And don't forget to add the temperature and the cooking instructions to that tag as well. Next, we have a classic chocolate chip cookie. Again, 1 1/3 cups flour, 3/4 teaspoon of both baking soda and salt, and then of course stir it up and add it to your base layer. Next layer is 3/4 cup brown sugar and a 1/2 cup of white sugar, and then a full cup of chocolate chips. And of course, don't forget to add your label to your jar, which is the same as the last cookies. Again, just put it on cardstock, punch a hole in it, and tie it around the jar with a ribbon. Also, don't forget to write on your label the cooking instructions, which again is 350 for 12 to 15 minutes. The last dessert in the jar we're going to do is chocolate chip banana bread. Same as the other 2, we are going to mix together 1 1/3 cup flour, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon baking soda. A great option is also to add a 1/4 cup of walnuts if you like a little bit of a crunch and a nut. And then lastly, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt for that bottom layer, followed by a 1/2 cup of white sugar. For the last layer, if you aren't adding walnuts, it's going to be a full cup of chocolate chips. If you are adding walnuts, you are going to do 3/4 cup chocolate chips and 1/4 cup of walnuts. And of course, make sure that you write down the instructions and the wet ingredients to add on a hard cardstock card, punch a hole in it, and tie a ribbon around it, around the jar. There are so many free versions of these online. All you have to do is a quick Google search, and you could definitely just easily print these off as well. I am using my food saver and I am vacuum sealing the jar, sucking all the air out so that they have as long a shelf life as possible. I also have a handheld one of these that I've made a video over that I like actually a lot better than my food saver, so go check that video out. The last thing I did with these was label the top of the jar as well with the date so I know how old these are and when to use them up. Absolutely love having all 3 of these in my stockpile and in my pantry. We have tried all of these and they turn out delicious every single time. It's so convenient. There's always something that comes up, like a barbecue, a church event, a birthday party. We forgot about something that we need a quick dessert to contribute or bring, and these are just so easy. We usually always have the wet ingredients on hand and can just throw it together, and it just brings me a little bit of peace of mind that should hard times fall, should events happen, I do have something set back, say for a Christmas treat or a birthday treat or something. Just as a mom, it makes me feel more prepared that I could maybe bring a little bit of joy to my family's life should we not be able to use the grocery store. Hope this video is really helpful. Give this video a big thumbs up if you did like it. That helps this channel out. And leave a comment that if you have a video idea or if you want to see different recipes like these. I have a ton in our food storage that I could do. That's going to be it for today's video. I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye!